Good morning, my loves. Hello. Welcome. Today I just wanted to talk about something I learned on my twin flame journey, which honestly, I've been on this thing 11 years. Didn't even know I was on the twin flame journey for 11 years. But I had my out-of-body experience 11 years ago, and shortly thereafter started having all these dreams and visions of this guy that I didn't fucking know. I didn't know. I just knew that I had a soulmate, but he was in this like dream world, and I thought it was like an imaginary thing. I thought this is an escape for me. It's like a coping mechanism. Every time my life would turn to shit, there'd be this guy there. And I still got married, had several boyfriends after my marriage, like guys I would talk to, I suppose. No full-on commitments, because my heart and soul just kind of always knew there was this guy, and it was so worth a divorce. Anyway, long story short, I found him. Well, I guess he found me actually, but and then it was so cataclysmic. There was so much power and insane chemistry and like, holy mother of God, what is this? That I freaked, he freaked. We both like kind of ran for the hills, and then slowly but surely made our way back together, and then boom, happened again. Boom, keeps happening. I'm finally at this point, I think now, where I'm understanding what it is really. It's that this journey requires too much of too many people. It requires people leave entire dynamics, belief systems, even their 9-to-5s. It requires devotion to God and only God. God is love, love is God. And if you don't devote 100% to God when you're on this journey, it's bad. And I guess what I'm trying to say is I finally realized the secret to it all. Letting go. Really, truly letting go and being free. Letting go of that need for it to be them. First of all, since I had 11 years with this person, it's a consciousness, by the way. My twin flame is a consciousness, right? We're all conscious. We're all souls. We're all spirit, right? He has been channeling through every single man I've ever loved. He has been channeling through every single person I've ever met. Your true twin flame is a consciousness. When you fall in love with someone's higher self, you're really falling in love with the one that your subconscious mind knows is the one, right? So every time I would get involved with a guy, I'd find like this new missing piece of what I wanted. Like, for instance, I'd meet a guy and he'd be like a guitarist. And I'd be like, oh my God, wow, that's him. That is part of that soul that I saw 11 years ago. Like, he's a guitarist, actually. It's like in one astral projection, and it was a dream / astral projection, and I met that guy, the one that I'm talking about, like the following month after my out-of-body experience. And in that moment, in that dream, and it did not last nearly long enough, I got to know everything about him. But it's almost like discovering him. Like meeting a million people and like remembering bits and pieces of the one that you're trying to bring in, conceptualize. I keep meeting people that have like these like certain traits, and it's like, okay, I want that trait but not the rest. I want that trait but not the rest. I want that trait but not the rest. It's like I'm piecing together my perfect version of whoever this man is. But I'm realizing something today, and it's that when you finally meet the perfect version, you love them so much that you don't even want to see them in pain. And you know that to be with you causes pain. And it's not love's fault. Love doesn't cause pain. The opposite of love causes pain. And I've just seen so many people get to that fear threshold, get to that moment where they're like, all right, I'm gonna have to leave everything. Everyone, my 9-to-5, everything I hate, everything that's causing me sadness and depression, and my habits, my comfort zone. and then they get to that point, and then they don't break through normally. And last night I was journaling, and I realized the reason that men don't break through that fear threshold is because I had never found the one yet. In my mind, I hadn't found the one that would be willing to do that for me. Because until recently, I didn't even know my twin flame existed, really. I mean, I'd been on the twin flame journey. I'd been talking about my twin flame, whom is a soul walk-in. If you guys understand soul walk-ins, that's a topic for a different day, but he's a soul walk-in. So I believe that all of us are one consciousness. A false twin flame is a spirit. It's like the spirit of Judas, like the spirit of Jezebel, the spirit of jealousy, the spirit of, I think that it is a spirit, it is a consciousness, it's a state of being, really, and it can channel through everyone. Same with your twin flame. My twin flame is everyone. My twin flame is me. My twin flame is everyone pushed out. Everyone is me pushed out. I am my twin flame. And that's, I guess, the message I'm trying to get out there to the world. And I've been trying for a minute, for about 11 years, I guess. But like nobody would really listen. How could anybody listen when you weren't even listening, right? I wasn't listening to me. In fact, after I met this guy, my twin flame, but I thought he was just like a figment of my imagination. I thought he was this guy I keep dreaming about. Knew he was real, knew he had some power to him. Like, I don't know, but he was super fucking powerful, and he loved me so unconditionally. I still got married anyway. I was engaged at the time when I was with him, and we still got married. I even told my soon-to-be husband, like, listen, you're not my soulmate. And he was like, that's okay. I love you, and you love me, and that's okay. So we still got married. Like, I wasn't even choosing love. I wasn't even choosing, like, the ultimate. Twin flame union is it's union to self. It's union with self. It's choosing you above everything else all the time, no matter what. And that is something I cannot ask somebody to do. I cannot ask somebody to leave everything behind for me. I can't. Just because I divorced, just because I don't have a 9-to-5, just because I'm not like, I don't have a ton of girlfriends anymore and I can't go to Starbucks and gossip with my girlfriends. Used to be a very comfortable life for me. I left my family in 2021. I left every single guy that wasn't showing me the love that I show myself. I left everyone for God. Everyone for love. And the sad truth is, when I died in 2019, I had a near-death experience in 2019. I got to come back, but I promised God I would do this work. I promised the Most High that I would do this work for him or her. He, she, it, we, they, whatever. It's a consciousness. It's not a gender. And I told God I would do this. It is not fair to require this of someone else. It's not fair. And so I realized today in meditation, when I was doing cord cutting, I kept asking my twin flame telepathically, like, please just let me go. Please just let me go. Let me go. I want him to be able to choose what he wants. I feel like unconditional love would offer free will. Now, technically, as a law of assumption coach, I do not believe that that others outside of us really have free will. Technically speaking, I don't. I think that we are the creator of our own reality. However, as a girl in love who is a hopeless romantic, I want to give someone free will to love me or not. I mean, I know, it's like counterintuitive and it sounds completely like I'm talking about out both sides of my ass. But really, I want to give someone free will. I do. I want them to choose me. I don't want them to I don't want to force them to love me. Like in the same way that 11 years ago when I met God, and in 2019 when I met God yet again, God didn't force that on me. I chose. I agreed to do this work. I agreed to work for the collective right now during the Great Awakening. I agreed to be here. It wasn't forced on me. I can't claim to be divine, a divine feminine, if I'm forcing someone to love me. And that's what I realized today. So I said, please just let me go. It's obvious you want your family, you want your roots, you want the 9 to 5 that you have, you want your stable life, you want the things that you have, you want that lifestyle. That's fine. I would never would I ever force somebody to leave things behind for me. In fact, that's why I'm alone. That's why I even joke about it, but I feel like I'll die alone. I'm 34, not married, no pets, no friends even. I've gotten to that place where I'm okay living this way. Being that girl that talks to dead people online in front of the whole world, I'm cool with it. I don't care how I'm viewed anymore. I do care, though, how a man with me is viewed. I care about his reputation. He cares about his reputation. You know, I wouldn't ask a guy to get involved with me. First of all, I'm a witch who talks to dead people and talks about end times. Okay? I'm not a size 2. I have a lot of trolls, a lot of bullies. I get death threats almost once a month. And I also know that this system, the Matrix, can honestly hurt me if I have people attached to me. So I have to be so detached that nothing can hurt me. They can use people I love to hurt me. And I hate to say that, but that's why detachment is so important for me. If you're not attached to people, they can't get you. They can't hurt you. And I know that sounds like a coping mechanism. That sounds very unhealthy. A lot of people would probably deem it unhealthy. But genuinely speaking, I'm actually happy like 95% of the day. So if it's unhealthy, then I guess okay, so be it. Okay. If detachment is unhealthy, then okay. I prefer to be happy and unhealthy then, if that's the case. I just realized I love him so much that I'm gonna let him go. I love him so much that I'm gonna let him choose something that's not me. I love him so much that I'm not gonna force God on him. I love him so much that I'm not gonna force anyone anymore to choose this life. Like, it's tough. Leave everything that is comfortable. Yeah, I mean, I'm not asking people to leave things that are healthy for them, nor is God. God is not asking us to leave things that are healthy. Love, aka God, aka source, aka whatever the fuck you call it, love only asks us to leave things that are hurting us. And only things that are hurting us. The good can stay. If you have a shit ton of good in your life, keep it. But if it's shit, leave it. And I am just tired of telling men to leave it. Trying to convince men that leaving it is a good thing. Like, I don't want to waste my breath in convincing men that leaving bad things are good for you. I'm done. I'd rather get paid good money to tell people that are ready to leave good things. I'd rather use my gifts to work for the divine people that are ready because they have suffered so much. They're tired of suffering. And so they find me and they come to me. And because I work with the divine uses me to free people that are ready to be fucking free. I'm tired of trying to convince a man that they should be free. You are free. You're already free. Every man I've ever loved, you're already free. You have the choice to be free. Choose me or whatever you want. That's freedom. That's true freedom. That's what I want to offer everyone. And that's what the divine wants to offer everyone. That's what God would want. I offer free will. I want to give people free will. I don't want to force love on anyone. That's not love anyway. That's not love. Me, like, pushing myself onto somebody like, oh, choose me. Like, no. If I'm already an option, let me just take myself off the menu, to be completely real with you, because I'd rather not be an option. I'd rather just be, like, by myself. Yeah, I'd rather that be the case. I'd rather give all that beautiful energy to me and worship myself and say things like, I am beautiful, I am rich, I am so healthy, I am happy, and go to the park and bring in sunlight and sun rays into my body and have a cup of tea and just talk to myself in the viewfinder, I guess. Right? I'd rather meet amazing clients who are so ready to let shit go and learn more about love, detachment, the law of assumption, how to get shit you want, how to work with the divine, how to tune into your gifts. Like, I'm so detached that it's wow. Yeah, I couldn't even believe it. I started crying and I said, please let me go, please let me go. And he started crying. It was as if I was almost detached. It was like, it wasn't me crying, it was him. I could feel my twin flame crying through me. And then it was confirmed as I was feeling that heartache, the dog upstairs started whining. And I was like, that dog never whines, really, ever. It was so weird because it reminded me of the first day I moved to this apartment. I left my family and I moved here. I cried that first night because I was so sad. And the cat next door started crying with me. And for about a couple weeks, every time I would cry, because I was sad, I was leaving my family, that cat would cry the same time as me. And now it makes sense because we're all one consciousness. And I didn't know that then. So it was like confirmation in the 3D world that, wow, he really is sad that we're ending. We're done. So I started praying. I asked God, please send somebody new in. It's not him. It's not him. It's not a physical 3D avatar. Your twin flame is not a fucking man or a woman. Your twin flame is God. Your twin flame is consciousness. Your twin flame is you. It is a soul. It is a spirit. It is not a physical flesh suit. And so that is why I'm like, you know what? It's not him. I'm detaching. I'm letting go. And I'm watching what God does. Either God works through that man and brings him back in that avatar, in that flesh suit, or it doesn't matter, I will find someone new. And my twin flame will channel through that one as well. Which for me, if you guys have watched my channel, I always call my twin flame the magician. And since I had my near-death experience in 2019, and once I shifted consciousness, once that happened, I'm a soul walk-in. So I'm a new soul. I made an agreement with this body to take over this body, this physical vessel, so that I can help lead right now in the Great Awakening. But when I did that though, I met my twin flame the very next month. The very next month after I died and came back, I met him the next month. And so it's been about 4.5 years that I've been on this journey for real. Like 11 years I've been on the awakening journey, but for 4.5 years I've been on the ascension journey. So anyway, once I got my gifts, my psychic gifts came in like the same day I died. That day I became activated as a soul. And as a soul walk-in, I started to become psychic. So every time I would pick up a deck of cards, which I didn't even own yet. I didn't even know about tarot. My old soul didn't know that shit. The new soul, me, Jenna, like me, my higher self, myself, I know tarot. I've been doing this a very long time. And in past lives, and I know this shit at a soul level. I know this shit as a consciousness. So once I had my out-of-body experience, or my near-death experience, in 2019, I died, came back. That's when I met my twin the following month. He taught me astrology. We started teaching each other a whole bunch of like occultism, and that's when I learned we bound ourselves in a past life using magic, and we are both here to stop doing that. We're not to be binding ourselves. We're to be freeing ourselves from magic. We don't even need magic. We are fucking magic. But anyway, point is, I picked up my first deck of cards, and he's been the magician in tarot for me the entire time that I've been on this journey. And so the magician is a consciousness. The magician is an energy. The magician is a construct. The magician, all tarot cards, it's an archetype. So the magician archetype for me is my twin flame. And so I know that because a twin flame is a consciousness, I'm going to meet him in someone else consistently until I find that one person that I guess in the 3D construct, in the 3D matrix, they don't have attachments. They can hold the frequency of unconditional love a hella long time. They hold it 24/7, right? But I have to be able to withstand it 24/7 as well. that frequency of unconditional love, like, you have to be pretty okay with being in love 24/7. Like, that means no karmics. That means no people who are around you telling you, like, oh, you should be ashamed of yourself for loving that person. The one that I'm going to be with has already dealt with all that shit. If I already left karmics and karmicville, if I already left every single person that's ever told me I'm not allowed to be me, then I am going to be with someone who also has already done that shit. So I prayed today. I asked God, I asked the divine. Actually, more specifically, I asked the magician. I prayed to the magician archetype. I said, magician, my twin flame, I give you permission. I'm giving us both permission to end this. I don't want that person. I don't want that one. I'm done. I want you to find someone else, someone that is not attached to worldly things, who does not want to stay stuck in the mud anymore. Grabbing a hold of like constructs and people and places and things. And I just don't want that. I don't want that. I deserve better. So I prayed to the magician archetype. I summoned the magician archetype, basically, which is just my higher self, and said, I'm ready. I'm ready to let go. I love that man with all my heart. Oh, God. I've loved every man I've ever been with. Every single person I've ever been with, I have been 100% in love with. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to only love that man. No, not until I, again, meet the one that has prepared himself for God. If I've gone to God to get to me and to get to unconditional love and to get to nirvana and to get to a state of peace and to get to heaven, right? A frequency of abundance and joy and love and health and healing and prosperity. I'm going to need someone who also has already gone to God to get to me as well, right? Otherwise, it's unfair and it's unevenly yoked, and there's no fucking way in hell I'm ever doing that again. Period. I left my husband. I was with him almost a decade. I left a man that paid my bills, took care of me. We had a family. We had dogs. I guess you can't really call it children, but we had children. I even had to leave them behind. Worst time of my life. If I left a man that I loved for almost a decade and my entire family, best believe I will leave every single person, place, or thing that is ever going to try to keep me trapped or stuck in some cyclical pattern. And I'm done. I'd rather be alone and completely free, really, and be in love with God than to ever be in love with a man again. I will love anyone that comes into my life, anyone that my higher self brings in for me to love and to learn lessons through. I will love them 100% for as long as I am getting that back. Otherwise, I will cut cords and I will be leaving. And that's just that. And, it's strange because I did that 3-day challenge about a week ago. I did the 3-day self-concept challenge for the law of assumption. I started work on my law of assumption, law of attraction. I did this challenge on myself. 10,000 affirmations in 3 days. 10,000 repetitions of things like, I'm beautiful, I am so sexy, I am amazing, I get everything I want, why am I so lucky, I'm the luckiest girl alive, I have everything I want, God loves me, the universe blesses me. Me, for 10,000 repetitions. And then I've been doing it the last few days as well, another challenge, the same thing, because I love me. And I think it's fun. And I love worshiping myself. I love telling myself I'm gorgeous. I love telling myself I'll do anything to please me. I love pleasing myself. If I want a cup of coffee, I want to go get a cup of coffee. If I want to eat a pizza, I'll eat a pizza. If I want to fast for 3 days, I'll fast for 3 days. If I want to masturbate, I'll masturbate. If I don't, I won't. It's like, it's that easy. It really is that easy. But we as a collective have made it so goddamn hard. We're so afraid of pleasing ourselves above other people. And so I'm tired of men who want to please other people instead of themselves. They've put everybody else on the pedestal and they haven't put themselves there. And that's why me and God, we're really tight, and I will just walk the fuck away and I will go be with God instead. And because the magician is God, the magician archetype, because my higher self is God, I will let that magician archetype channel through any person, and I will fall in love with that person until they otherwise say, nah, no thanks, I want to stay where I'm at. Okay, bye. Gonna go find him in another one then, and another one, and another one, and another one, until I know that my higher self has found the right one, picked the right one out of the lineup for me. I'm so over it. I'm so over it. And this isn't even to slam any guy. No, this isn't to slam anybody. Just because you give yourself that power back does not mean you're doing it to spite someone. Just because you love you doesn't mean you start hating others. It's not why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because I love me more than I love anything, I think. And I'm okay with that. And that's the thing I want men to do. I want you to love yourself, well, more than you love anything else. You before everyone else. That's what I want. Once you have a cup overflowing, then go give it to other people. But what society has done so poorly is we have convinced ourselves that it's everyone else, sacrificial lamb. Everybody else gets preferential treatment before us. And then we're all tired and sick and unhealthy and we don't have anything for ourselves. And I love every man I've ever been with. I love you all so much that I want you to have a choice. And even if you don't choose me, I love you anyway. And I love you so much that I'm going to take my beautiful self out of the equation and give you what you want. You don't want me, you want them. That's great. I'm going to abide by your wishes and move the fuck along. And I think that is why the magician energy, for me, has always felt unattainable. I thought that I've never been able to really harness that energy, but I now see I am that energy. I am the magician. I'm the one manifesting these men out of thin air. I'm the one speaking it, and immediately that shit comes true. It comes to fruition within seconds. I'm the one that manifested my twin flame in the first place. Me, with 3 or 4 other witches, we were all on a live stream, and we were talking about what we love about our twin flames. And I told the girls, well, he's the magician for me. I started talking about what the magician archetype is, and for 4 hours straight, all we talked about was how much we love our twin flames, how much our divine masculines are so incredible. And we just held that frequency for 4 hours, and then 2 days later, I met him. 2 days later, he found me, actually. So I have always been the magician. I have always been my twin flame. Any twin flame would tell you the same thing. Twin flame journey is really journey to self. It's realizing that you are them and they are you. They are you pushed out in the 3D, but it's not a physical vessel that you're in love with. It's a consciousness. It's a soul. It's a spirit. It's a whatever. It's a floating person. It's not necessarily a physical body. And so many of us get caught up in holding on, grasping on for dear life. Oh, but it's him though, Jenna. It's him though. No, it's not. And if you book a reading with me, please believe I will be the first to tell you that you are so codependent on it being that physical person that if you were to just detach, you'd probably find that man you want, or woman, whatever, comes to you in a different form the very next fucking day. But many people don't want to hear that shit. You don't want to hear that shit. Because a lot of you, when you come to me for coaching, it's no, but I want him though. I want him though. Nah, you want somebody to love you. You want a man that gives you flowers. You want a guy that texts you and calls you. You want a guy that is cuddling with you right now. You want a man to marry you. You want someone committed. You want someone to commit to you. You don't want it to be one particular person. You want it to be a man that loves you. And that's why when Neville Goddard said the same thing to one of his clients. Neville Goddard, he's a law of assumption teacher, and he from really long time ago, decades ago. And he told one of his clients who was but I want it to be him though. Just him. I want him. Manifest him for me. And he was no, you don't want just him. You want a husband. You want a kind, compassionate lover. You want fun. You want spontaneity. You want romance. You want that. She's no, but I just want it to be him though. Okay. Lead a horse to water, can't make him drink. I'm about to be the living proof that if you detach, you'll find the one you want. You'll always find the one you want. Because the one that you want is detached as hell, honey. Because the one that you want is not attached to 65 million people. That's not who you want. So, detach. Don't let go of your desire. I'm not letting go of my desire. My desire is still the magician. My desire is still my twin flame. My desire is still love. And it's 100% going to always be that way. So I'm not letting go of the desire. I'm not letting go of, my desire. I'm letting go of it having to be one guy. Fuck that. There are 8 billion people on the planet. I'm sure there's somebody way better suited. If not, God, aka my higher self, consciousness, whatever source is, will choose him. He will become activated and he'll boss up and he'll be where I'm at. Otherwise, I'm going to find someone new. And when you take that body off the pedestal, right? That guy, take him off the fucking pedestal, bro. That's a flesh suit. That's a piece of meat. Really, if you think about it. Our flesh, our body, it's literally just carbon. I mean, it's like that's not your twin flame. Your twin flame is the consciousness behind it. Source, spirit, whatever. Love. That's who it really is. So, I'm not going to force anybody to leave their life behind for me. One, that's hella selfish. Two, I didn't even want to leave shit for this journey. I didn't even want to do it. And I agreed in 2019, like, listen, for real, I agreed to this shit and I didn't even want to do it. I divorced my husband, I died in February and then, so 5 months. We were already going through divorce proceedings, so in 5 months we finalized our divorce. From the time I died to the time our divorce, I was a different person. I wasn't even in love with him anymore. He wasn't in love with me. He could feel the shift. He could tell I wasn't the same soul. So, if even I didn't want to leave, of course not. Nobody wants to leave a comfortable life. I didn't want to leave with $100 to my name, my family in 2021. I didn't want to leave and go to where God was leading me to. Like, how dare I ask any man to do that for me? I'm just going to do it for me instead. I love every guy I've ever been with, even if he didn't love himself enough to choose what he wanted. It's okay. It's okay. There's zero hard feelings. Like, it's okay. You didn't love you enough at that time to choose you above others. To choose what you wanted more than life itself above all others. That's okay. You just weren't there yet. I can't wait to meet the guy who is there, who is so ready for that. Right now, it's just me. And that's perfectly fine with me. Because I think I'm pretty amazing. I love being with myself 24/7. I'm amazing. And until I find someone else equally amazed by me, I'll just be alone. I'll be alone. And that's okay. Finally, for the first time in my life, I'm alone but not lonely. Because I realized the secret to it. Don't lose your desire. Don't become detached to your desire. You don't have to stop desiring what you want. Just stop assuming that it's like what you think it is. It's your ego trying to convince you, like, oh, it's that guy. It has to be him. It has to be him. It has to. Okay, are you in love? Are you having fun? Is your life really great? Focusing on that guy? Mine's not. So I'm done.